sasa hivi ugali sosa inarudi, ugali sosa is coming back courtesy of the government. Bado lipo kiosk unga ni pesa ngapi? So we us this morning, let us know where you watching us from. Na bei ya unga mahali ulipo inakuwa ni pesa ngapi? Haya. So it's another State of the Nation edition. Na tuko na Kathy Irungu. It's been a while. I think we tried to invite her some times back. We couldn't find her. Finally, she's here on the tackle. And tuko na JM Kagonga. Jamaa wetu wa Vision, Total Vision on YouTube. He calls himself also a Vision, Total Vision Kenya. Or is it Football Total Vision Kenya?
Total Football Kenya.
Total Football Kenya. He's in the UK and he's been a great supporter of the show. He's always there online calling in and having a conversation with us. And finally, alikuwa amesema nikitoka huko ngambo UK, I'll land in the studio and we'll have a conversation. So he's here with us this morning and he's going to join us about the things that he's very passionate about, governance and administration and the things that concern you as Wanjiku. Anajiita yeye ni Wanjiku, yeye ni representative wa Wanjiku. So we're going to hear the voice of Wanjiku finally, what he has to think about the things that are going on in the country. We've heard this assumption that Kenyans in diaspora don't have a voice or don't have anything to do with the country that they come from, that is homeland Kenya. Ukiuliza mtu mambo ya Kenya sema hapana, wewe uko nilitoka. Kama kawaida, we'll start off with a prayer, alafu tunaingia kazi. Naona nani ameweza kuamka. Alafu we look at the traffic situation on your roads. How are things uko barabarani? Ngong Road leo today is a bit messy with a couple of watu wanasalimiana kidogo, magari zinasalimiana, so it's a bit crazy on Ngong Road kidogo, lakini kutafunguka, it's beginning to open up. So tuende mbele za Mungu tuombe kwanza, alafu tukirudi basi I can look at the way the traffic looks like and then kuja niwasalimie pia. Mighty Father, we come before you this morning, we worship you, glorify your name. Thank you for another opportunity to be alive. We thank you for this program. We thank you for every toddler and every guest that is with us this morning as we have this conversation made edify the fabric of this country. We pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Traffic situation on your roads. Let's look at how the roads are this morning. Mombasa Road looks all clear. Like some little bit traffic towards Nyayo Stadium. Lakini ikai kubaya sana. It looks all clear. Looks all clear towards Mlolongo. Expressway imetibu mashida mingi sana on Mombasa Road. So Mombasa Road people, you're having it easy and smooth every single morning. Looking at Outer Ring Road spilling into the Jogoo Road. Not looking bad at all. Not looking bad at all. Almost clear from the T-Mall roundabout heading towards Donholm. Yesterday, Donholm was a bit crazy, but this morning looks a bit clear. It's looking very clear. Some little traffic heading towards Donholm between Umoja and Donholm, or Umoja Overpass and Donholm. Some little bit traffic. Also joining in from the Donholm Estate towards Donholm town or center. It's looking a bit crazy, but heading towards Jogoo Road is a bit clear as well. And Outer Ring Road doesn't look bad at all. But heading in towards the industrial area, a little bit of traffic. But yeah, looks all clear. Thika Road kama kawaida doesn't look very good all the way from the KCA University pale nyuma. Ukianzia pale nyuma kidogo, doesn't look all good from the Institute of Survey. Kidogo kumeshikana heading towards the Muthaiga Overpass. Muthaiga Overpass looks a bit crazy, a bit jammed up. Kiambu Road people, you're lucky this morning. It's looking all clear. Some little bit traffic at the DCI headquarters kidogo tu ila kawaida. I think kuna wageni wanatembelea DCI. We'll be able to know nane kona kesi pale. Heading into CBD from Ngara looks all clear, nothing to really worry about. Watu wa Yakiwe these days mambo yenu ni shwari zaidi, but at the Globe roundabout there's some little bit of traffic heading towards the CBD. On Nairobi Expressway looks all clear. Wayakiwe as well heading towards Kempinski looks all clear. The Westlands pale stage kidogo watu wa matatu kidogo wanaleta jam, lakini looks all clear as well, nothing to really worry about. Ring Road Kilimani looks all good. Ni shida kidogo, sio ni shida yote pale. Looks all clean, heading in towards Kileleshwa, nothing to worry about. And also Likoni Road heading towards Yaya Center, nothing to worry about. Dennis Street looks all clear as well this morning. Agwins Kodek looks all clear as well towards Under the Radar, looks all clear. The junction usually has some traffic, but it's looking all clear. Pale Kitanga Road safi pia, nothing to really worry about. Rusinga School kidogo pale, there's some little traffic, but that's understood. Naivasha Road this morning is looking all clear, nothing to worry about. But heading towards the junction, the junction mall is a bit crazy. Kingara Road, yesterday it was clear, but this morning Kingara Road is looking crazy. It must be a truck. Lazima unajua hiyo Kingara Road lazima inakuanga na lori imekwama pale kwa mlima. So I want to guess that there's another lorry again this morning heading towards the Gecko Cafe, Gecko Car Wash. It's looking a bit crazy heading up and also heading down. It doesn't look very good. So if you're heading towards this side of Ngong Road, then you better use the main Ngong Road. That's cleared. It was crazy in the morning. There's some bit of accidents across towards Oledume Road. There was some little traffic kidogo, but I'm still seeing this some little traffic. I think there's not been cleared very well. There's some small accidents kidogo, watu kusalimiana kidogo, but looking all good. The traffic situation on your roads, unless kuna shida ambapo unaona is there a problem that is happening on your roads, please let me know. Lakini kama kawaida, kama sasa nikiona mambo ni shwari, sioni traffic sana. Nairobi looks all clear this morning. Nothing to really worry about except Thika Road. Watu wa Thika Road mko na shida kidogo. Lang'ata Road, karibu nusu watu wa Lang'ata Road. Watu wa Lang'ata Road as usual lazima mko na jam. Let me confirm. As usual watu wa Lang'ata Road lazima mko na traffic kidogo. Ndio hiyo traffic inaanzia wapi? Lang'ata Hospital. Hata si Lang'ata Hospital. Lang'ata Police Station pale cemetery. Traffic on Lang'ata Road is still beginning from the Lang'ata Cemetery or Lang'ata Police Station all the way to the Timol roundabout. So if you can use alternative routes, please consider. But if you must stay on Lang'ata Road, then I don't know what you're going to do. It looks like it's going to get crazy as well. Things are not looking good on Lang'ata Road, so try and use alternative routes. Okay. Do you know Amuka this morning? I don't know who's up this morning. What to skin in Anameza Kwamka this morning? Let me see. Ibra, keep on big up Kaka. Nice work, Santa Sandona. Good morning to Good morning to all the diasporans that are joining us as well this morning. As usual, please don't join like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And that will like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Tuangalie magazeti mbio mbio. Taifa Leo inasema Raila Odinga aoshwa laana ya 1969. Haya. Uchaguzi 2022 mwaka 2022 nasema wazee wa jamii ya Kikuyu wafanya tambiko Kiambu wakisema ni ya kuondoa makali ya kiapo kilicholishwa jamii yao na mzee Kenyatta kuhusu uongozi wa kitaifa. Haya. If you can remember the last time Moses Kuri was on the show, he mentioned an oath that was taken in 1969. Pare Kiambu akasema they will say that the leadership will never go to the lake. Considering the Odinga family and also the Luo community. So inasemekana kwamba finally wazee wamekutana pale Kiambu wamesema we are reversing, tunarudisha, we are reversing the curse, the oath that was done at Kiambu. Wazee wasema kiapo kilichozuia Agikuyu kuchagua Mjaluo kimepitwa na wakati. Haya, unga kushuka bei hadi baada ya uchaguzi. Serikali yasema imekubaliana na wasagaji kushukisha bei kwa mwezi mmoja. 4 weeks. Unga itakuwa 100. I don't know what will happen after 4 weeks. It's a matter of wait and see. Hope by that time tutakuwa tumeanza kuvuna mahindi. Nilikuwa huko Wazingishu nikaona mahindi karibu inaiva na Kitale. Haya. Magavana wadai mamilioni ya pesa wakistaafu. Magavana walafi wataka walipwe 700,000 kila mwezi wapewe gari na driver. So these guys are asking for 700,000, almost 700,000 per month. Okay. Na wapewe gari Prado 4x4, wapewe mafuta na wapewe PA. Okay, so you can imagine in the next 20 years when we have several governors, how much will people to bear with? Okay, politics of ugali, prices fall by half. Mambo ya ugali leo gazeti ni ugali. Okay, Kenyans await running mates debate. Finally, Rigathi Gachagua was seen yesterday at the Catholic University of East Africa. Inasemekana alikuwa ameenda kuangalia hali ya anga inakaa aje. So clearly showing up today for the interview and Kenyans are for the debate and Kenyans are looking forward to that conversation. In the evening, asikie mambo ni vipi. Alcohol ban for those under 40s. Okay. IBC locks out Sonko from governor's race. Meanwhile, Sonko has gone to the East African Court of Justice kusema hapana, hii kitu mrifanya hamkufanya vizuri. So they're going to East African Court of Justice to find reprieve from the Supreme Court ruling that was done the other day. Okay. Let's understand that the People Daily, who is best of them all. We're having the Running Mates debate tonight and we will tune in and listen to who has the best agenda for Kenya. Cost of maize dropped to 200 today. Korir wins Kenya's third silver in tough US marathon. By the way, things are crazy there. Pale Oregon, we are not doing very well. And I don't know what the problem is. Economy shakes off. Paul Jeter's official data shows majority of businesses and individuals have cast off the perennial gloom associated with election year to keep goods and services flowing. Okay. On the Business Daily, NSE sheds 95 billion in days on profit taking. And the Standard Financial Economy shakes off. Paul Jeter's. I think we've seen that. All right. It's another morning. It's the 10th of the Nation edition. And we are with CATHY IRUNGU na JM Kakunga. And they join us this morning for a conversation. Good morning to you, CATHY.
Good morning.
Namba baby.
Good morning, Pitoka. It's nice having me. It's my first time on the show, and I'm quite excited. It's a great morning, having all these things that we're talking about, bei ya unga imeshuka. Yeah, the excitement is real. Yeah, among so many other things. Yeah, so looking forward to an exciting conversation with you. Yeah.
All right. Since you're the first time on the show, maybe I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Who is
Kathy? My name is CATHY Irungu, and I am a scientist by profession, but I do business.
Okay.
I'm also a politician, having participated into a general election that was in 2013 and 2017 in the county of Nyeri. So 2013, I ran for the women representative seat in Nyeri.
Ran in Nyeri?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And later in 2017, I ran for the Member of Parliament Mathira constituency. Yes.
Mathira?
Yes.
Waganagashagwa?
That is my Member of Parliament, you know.
You're in Mathira?
Yes.
Okay. So how did it go?
It was an exciting contest. Of course, he won. It was a contest that had attracted 5 candidates, 3 women and 2 gentlemen. Okay. One of the ladies is in the race again, but personally, I'm not participating this time round. Okay. I have chosen to do other things, but I've not quit politics. Definitely,
you're not quit politics. So why are you not competing this time round?
Because I'm more interested with the national politics. I think now I'm participating and supporting Baba and Mama, and therefore, to be very honest, I don't think I'm going back home to do politics at this point. Yes.
Rudy. Tawe. Yes. Good morning to you, Jay. Mambo.
Mambo is very good. I'm very good.
Good to see you finally.
To this show. I woke up very early in the morning to make sure I'm here on time, because I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. I've been a follower of this show for a very long time. I've seen all sorts of politicians walk in and out of here, and I listen to them all. Okay. And I'm looking forward to speak to the nation.
Okay. All right. It's also not your really first time, since we're already on the diaspora edition and also online every other time. But you'd also have an opportunity to introduce yourself as well. You're a Kenyan in diaspora. How long have you been there? Where do you come from here? What are your interests with your country? And all that. And what are some of the things that really get your attention about this country?
Everything, really. And to begin with, I left this country in 1995. So it's easier to understand that I left here as a youth. Okay. And I have lived in the UK for all that time, and I'm very interested in issues that happen in Kenya. In fact, I know Kenya and things that happen in Kenya more than Kenyans who live here. Not all of them, but some of them. But that's because I passionately follow what happens in my country. And I always say I think I have a patriotic duty and. And a duty enabled by Constitution 2010 to support my country. And now back in the UK, professionally, I'm a European Union qualified football coach. I'm also a teacher. I started teaching in 1998. Then I studied accountancy. I'm also an accountant. And then right now I'm a football coach. Yeah, but I also do teaching as well. So in terms of teaching, I teach art. Art is my area of so when it comes to education, and up to now I have worked with 300 schools in UK because I'm always sent by the government in different schools where they need art. I use my art to inspire all schools across Britain, Scotland, Wales. That. And then when it comes to coaching, actually I coach the club where Raheem Sterling comes from.
Raheem.
So we have Raheem Sterling. It's one of our player, if I can say that. And actually, the coach who nurtured Raheem Sterling since the age of 11 is actually my head coach right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right, but what is your interest with politics and governance? Because then, I mean, you're totally in a different world in terms of you're a football coach, you're a teacher. What is your interest? What's your keen interest in governance and politics?
It's actually, I always say, even though I left Kenya, my heart was left in Kenya. So that's why I cannot get away from Kenya. And now this sends me back to why I'm interested in, 1, economy of this country, 2, governance, 2, social transformation. These 3 transformation is my passion. And I believe that every problem that is affecting a Kenyan, that's affecting our Njiko, including me, our Njiko in UK, yeah, if you focus on every issue that's affecting you, it's going to narrow into either a social issue, economic issue, or a governance issue. So these three pillars, there's nothing else in life outside these three pillars. And that's how I started looking into those pillars. And now my relation with that to Kenya is that I've been studying Kenya. If you to study a nation proper, I've been studying Kenya for 9 years. Yeah, I started the day Uhuru was sworn in, and William Ruto, as Uhuruto. They gave me something different because they always used to say, if you have a vision for this country, come and speak to us. They used to be very accessible. They used to speak like this. That's the first time I had leaders in Kenya speak like that. And I thought, we have a new nation. So that triggered me to do something, to start now following Kenya and doing something that I could do and help this country. But now, so many problems that I have been seeing within the last 9 years have actually almost inspired me to something that I have to do something that is helpful to this country. Number one, I started with, because originally I come from Lamu. One day, I saw a bus called TSS bus. I saw a serious bus accident in Malindi. While I was in UK, it was being shown on the news. And this bus had actually fallen on the ditch in Malindi, and it was facing upside down. So when I looked, I saw a picture of people spread on the floor, bleeding everywhere. There's no ambulance, there's nothing. The people who had already got minor accident in the bus came out of the bus. They were helping the dead and the others. And I thought, no, this is deep, man. I have to do something. So it is from that stage I realized that Kenya, when it comes to emergency service response, we have a serious issue. Then I started studying that. And every time I took a move, I actually exposed another problem. Every time I took a move, I exposed another problem. Then it was a time I started looking into football because my boys are born in UK, they've done university in UK and all of that. They always come here. They are also passionate about the country. So for me, they always ask me, Dad, you've been here for 27 years. What is this thing? Every day you study about your country. You spend 4 or 5 hours writing about your country, doing research and see what's wrong with your country. I say, it's because for me, it doesn't matter you give me 10 billion, whatever, I'm not interested. My interest is to do what can save Wanjiku. That's my passion. Whenever I hear Wanjiku has a good sleep in Kenya, I'm done. In UK, I'm fine. So even my wife in UK asked me, they are all passionate about Kenya because I've dragged everyone in this Kenyan issue of saving Kenya. Then I came into something, I decided to, because everywhere I look, there's a problem. What can I do? I said, I don't want to be like I'm known everywhere in Kenya. I'm going to work behind the scene to prepare what I'm preparing. And I came with something called Manifesto Linda Wanjiku. All right,
we'll go back to that. We'll get to that. But before that, hey, State of the Nation. This is a State of the Nation edition. What do you think is the State of the Nation, Madam CATHY Irungu? Unaona tu hii dunia hii ya Kenya iko namna gani?
I think it's quite interesting that for the first time, because I think I'll be voting for the fourth time now.
You've been voting for?
I'll be voting for the fourth time in this country. Okay. One of the things that I've realized is that the country is quite peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time, 20 days to the general election, things are normally heated up. And there's a lot of animosity that happens. Yes, there's a bit of that happening chini ya maji, but I don't think the temperatures are very high. Of course, economically, the country is still bleeding. And we hope that the government that will be coming in will do something about that. And, this conversation that has started, about economic liberation of our country, and it's being addressed from both sides of the political divide.
Finally, we're having a conversation around
that. We're having a very, and I would actually call it a proper conversation, because most of the time our politics is always mad with rhetorics, and a lot of euphoria. The other thing that we are seeing right now is that, you remember what happened in 2013, 2017, where we said tunapigia suti, that 6-piece.
Yeah.
Hii itakuwa ni mchanganyiko maalum. I actually think it's not just in Mount Kenya. I think it's all over the place. I don't know. I mean, what's happening, for example, in the Rift, in the Rift Valley region. But I can tell you, Mount Kenya, Nairobi, I do not see us doing suti this time around. Inakaa ni vitenge. And these I had a conversation yesterday with some women aspirant who said hakuna suti tunalinganisha. And I think that is a very beautiful thing. The other thing is that we're also looking, when you look at the four presidential candidates that we have, the three of them have female running mates. If you go back to our counties where we come from, and that is commendable, it's a good thing. I think that we are going to have more and more women participate in leadership. If you check, if you look at most of our counties, governors have actually taken female, most of the time, because it's actually male governors that are running. They've taken running mates or DGs of the opposite gender, which I think is a good thing. It's quite commendable. And of course, today we have the big debate.
That's coming up. Before that, what do you think is the state of our social fabric? How do you think are Kenyans getting the vibe of politics? Most Kenyans have been saying this is one campaign that is not campaigning. In a campaign, in a pesa, it seems like Kenyans even don't care what is opening around. What do you think is the state of our socialization as Kenyans?
Okay, I think, Kenyans, we still have a long way to go as far as our social fabric is concerned. There are several things that influence how we think and how we view things, some of them very positive and others very negative. I see that I think that will change as we move forward, but we still have a long way to go. To change that social fabric completely, and maybe get to a position where we are thinking that we are doing things the right way or the way they are supposed to be done.
Ugali politics. Kenyans have been complaining of the high cost of living. So yesterday the government came and said, for 4 weeks, you can have all the ugali you want. What do you think is the state of
ugali?
The state of ugali.
I think first of all, it's a relief. I think it's a relief. It's a good thing. But then honestly, I don't think we needed to say it's a 4-week kind of a relief. If you're getting a relief, can we get a relief for real?
Proper relief.
Proper
relief. Let's have ugali.
And so that it is also not interpreted as a political move. Because if you say it's a solution for the next 4 weeks, and in the next 4 weeks we'll actually be doing our general election, or it will just after. So are we saying that then 4 weeks after this, then we'll have the prices go back to 230, 250? So we need a solution to this, to the cost of living. But then we have to appreciate that this is a global problem. I mean, it's not just in Kenya. I mean,
Unga imepanda kila mahali.
I think unga imepanda kila mahali. Yeah. But let's address some of these issues
in isolation. Tunila kila kitu moja moja. Mafuta tunaweza kubali yenyewe, mafuta haitoki hapa, hata kama tuko na yetu haijairudi kutoka tua.
And you remember in 2017, Gerard, we had ile unga ya serikali. You remember? And I think it was going for 90 bob.
Even yes, and that's why I keep wondering, every electioneering period, there has to be a ugali conversation around it. There has to be somewhere where tulienda tumatengeneza unga vizuri. I remember there was that 90 bob unga that was branded by Jubilee. And I think these guys are just movie stars.
And my point precisely, I think it's very important that we show some willingness or even some seriousness when tackling some of these problems. These are not things that we can just make pedestrian comments or declarations. It is very important that we address some of these things once and for all.
We pin it on policy. All right, looking at that same thing across the board on the things that wananchi claim to be so expensive. Look at petroleum, look at the cooking gas prices, look at all these other things, cooking oil, wakasema palma iko Indonesia. Now, what is the obsession with subsidies? That whenever we have a problem with commodities, instead of addressing what the issue is with these commodities, we rush to say, okay, subsidize. Government kimbieni mali, una pesa yenu tueni kidogo, subsidize. Because when you look around, it's more generally on policy issues. Look at taxation, our taxation policy. You look at our fuel, the landing price, and what is loaded on top as levies and taxes. Look at Unga, for instance, how much is a bag, and what then is loaded as taxes. So instead of doing this thing of subsidizing, why can't we address the taxation regime and the policy thereof to ensure that maybe the farmer can produce cheaper and the miller can get it at the best price and the consumer as well can get it?
I think that is the best approach and the best way to go about it. But remember, every time we come up with these issues of subsidy, it also opens some room for corruption and for some people to make some money.
Yes.
You know what happens with fertilizer as well. So, and that is why I'm saying it's a policy issue. It's something that we need to address. It's a deep
at the
issue.
policy level.
Yeah, and at the policy level.
Okay. Ugali siasa, mko na shida ugali huko UK ama mkuli ugali?
Me, I still eat ugali. Actually, I had this conversation with the taxi driver this morning because that's the talk at the moment in town about the price of unga. And I said it is funny, he addressed this problem of unga. I had it as part of my manifesto Rinda Wanjiku, and actually it was called the National Unga Fund. And I said to address this issue as a in short term, long term, Bitok, what you just said, that's the answer to our long-term Unga solution. But before we talk about that, let me tell you short-term what was the idea about the National Unga Fund. So we try and seal out the holes that the country is losing money through. One of it, my idea was, if we can address this issue as the government fights corruption, the money that is taken from the corruption can be now put to be Unga Fund. And that means it is helping everybody in the country. So now all Kenyans will actually see now it is important to fight corruption because suddenly we did not have the Unga Fund. It is here now, National Unga Fund, and it helps actually across. It helps everyone. So we need to find some money somewhere as a short, because the price of Unga right now, I was saying that 1 kg of Unga is costing 100 Kenyan shilling in London. So Kenyans are spending the same money as a person who is in London. A price of 1 kg of sugar in London, you can get it for 98 Kenyan shilling. So if a Kenyan, in terms of earning, a Kenyan is earning very less compared to somebody in London. But when it comes to expenditure, we are more or less the same. The bread is cheaper in London than in Kenya. So what do we do to this Kenyan, where the Kenyan economy is 36 times small than that of England? So we really need to help the Kenyan Wanjiku as a long-term solution. Now, the Unga Fund, as my idea, with money that is recovered from corruption, that was a quick fix. Almost what the government has done, but that money should not be coming from already paid tax. It should be coming from somewhere else. Now, the long-term solution to this goes back to the Big Four agenda. The Big Four agenda, there is food security. So now, as the lady just said, is a policy problem. So what we needed to do when the Big Four agenda was developed, we should have looked what are the items or the pillars in the Big Four agenda. You know, the affordable health care, the housing issue, the food security. Now, once we know the agenda, the package of the Big Four, we should have now opened the package and create policies to support the package. When it comes to the issue of subsidizing farmers and that is not going to work, and the corruption comes about because, first of all, we have a crisis in the national government. So when I look at the Ministry of Agriculture, that's where the crisis starts. That's one, but I can tell you all the ministries. So for me, the government need to not this like panic thing trying to fix. We need to walk back and see what is causing this policy issue. When they come, they are not implemented, there's a problem. So we need to actually start by the 22 national government ministries. As far as I am concerned, they need to be restructured so they have a department that are fit for purpose. So the ministry are okay, but the departments within the ministry, they are missing. We have what I call the missing links, and the missing departments are critical. Now, if on this issue of Unga, we need to go back to the Ministry of Agriculture. We need to create a department for food security in the Ministry of Agriculture. That department now will deal with all the farmers at the grassroots. It's going to deal with the Ministry of Water and Irrigation to make sure because this department is going to demand from other ministries. Do we have enough water? Are farmers growing food? Do we have enough maize? Do we have enough fruits? So we need to go. This is not even an issue of giving money to farmers right now. We need to first go back to the Ministry of Agriculture and structure it properly. And that, again, I want to add something there. You see about value addition that politicians are speaking about. If you don't add, if for example, the UK agriculture is 0.6%, that's the income, GDP of agriculture, 0.6%. But when the agriculture product is added value, it brings 6%. So it tells you a product from a farm, when is value added, it creates 10 times value. So this is also where Kenya is losing a lot of money in terms of the GDP, because all the raw material coming from agriculture, potatoes, cassava, all of that, they're shifting a magunia here and there. There's no value added. America is the same. Their income from agriculture is 0.6%. Okay. But when it's value added, it contributes to, I think, 300 billion Kenya shillings. So it is agriculture product, the raw product, always has a multiplier effect of 10% when it's value added. Now, the issue of value addition, as far as agriculture product are concerned, it is about, again, we go back to the Ministry of Agriculture, create a department for horticulture and value addition. That is the department that's going to tell Kenyans your product will never go wasted. Their main focus will be these two things, horticulture and value addition. So that department is going to make sure manufacturing plants are built everywhere. You go to Makueni, the mangoes are rotting. Yesterday I spoken to a farmer from Mpeketoni. The melons are rotting. Right now I bought a melon in London. One melon is 1,500 Kenya shillings, 15 pound. In Mpeketoni right now, a melon is costing 10 shilling and they are rotting. So we need to go back. Ministry of Agriculture holds the answer to this country. So we need to go back and restructure this Ministry of Agriculture, because we need to go back to the farmers' cooperative. Right now, if you look the setting of the Kenyan government, we have something like in the Ministry of Industrialization and Cooperatives. That cooperative being there, we are talking about SACCOs and all of that. It's not agriculture product cooperatives. So we need to leave the SACCO cooperatives and the rest being in this Ministry of Industrialization. But we need to go back to the Ministry of Agriculture and now create a department that handles, it is one of these horticulture department, I think, that handles the value addition thing. So if we create a network of farm products cooperatives, for example, the melons are rotting in Mpeketoni, but Mombasa, which is just 3 hours travel, there's no melon. Kilifi, cashew nuts are rotting. Just down the road in Malindi, there is no cashew nuts. So we need to create a network of agriculture product cooperative, so they can collect a product from where it is rotting, and deliver it to where it is missing. So those cooperative has a lot of answer to the farmers' problems.
Okay, yeah. They only have answers to the farmers' problems. Okay, do you have any comments on food security and the politics of chakula?
First of all, I think this country, we are not short of research and policy papers and very good documents that are collecting dust. And I think this happens in all ministries. And, the food security, we have to look at it very broadly. Because one of the reasons why we are not even food secure as a nation, besides all the things that my good friend has said, is climate change. Because climate change has hit us in a negative way. If you look at the production and how people used to farm a couple of years back and what is happening today, there's a huge difference. The way the yields, from the farms, both for cash crops and even for the food crops, it has actually been affected by climate change. And what we need to do is actually to rehabilitate our environment so that we can continue and go back to getting more and more. But at the same time, if you look at some of the big initiative like the Garana, Kuraru, and these huge investment that we've had under agriculture, what happens is that we have also mismanaged them very badly. Again, back to corruption.
It has actually never made any production sense.
Exactly.
Billions of money.
Yeah, billions of money put in. And the same thing happened with the dams, these big and huge dams that we keep talking about. The money was set aside to do that, but then the money ilikuliwa. Ilikuliwa. Yeah, so I think our problems boil back to corruption. It's actually a cancer. It's something that we need to address as a country, and we need to address it with all honesty, because it is affecting us and affecting us in a big way.
All right. Finally, the deputy president debate comes up tonight. I saw Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua yesterday at the Catholic University of East Africa. They had said earlier in a statement that was released by Hussein, flagged by Nanok and Sholei, a number of guys, they said, Ikitu, Atuko, CAK is bust, Media Council is bust, media stations are bust. Na kwa hivyo sisi we shall not come. We'll have a conversation with wananchi. But finally, I saw him yesterday so clearly he's going to attend the debate tonight. And I wonder, who do you think is going to hesitate among the three?
Okay, first of all, I think it's actually quite good. It's quite commendable that Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua has decided to show up. I know he's an eloquent gentleman, and he can speak issues. The thing is, what I expect to see today, and as I listen to the three gentlemen and the three ladies and a gentleman, we really need to understand what value they are adding to those presidential candidates, and we need now to separate them somehow. It will give us an opportunity to separate them from the main guy, in as much as we always say that after the Constitution 2010, the presidency, it's like a co-share kind of a thing, where we have the president and the deputy president forming. It's not, you cannot dismiss, the president cannot actually wake up one day like Mo used to do and just say that nimefuta wewe kazi and I'm going to bring another person. Now this guy and I'm going to bring in another guy. So it is important for us to listen to all of them, the four of them, and really get to understand what they stand for and what they mean for this country. In terms of whom do I think will carry the day? It's a matter of wait and see. They might just surprise us. Okay. Yeah, because when you listen to even a lady like she's called Wamai, and she's quite outspoken. I may not support some of things that her and Wajakoya keep saying about the snakes and the fire and all those things and the bangi. But we might just. No. I don't think I support. I do not support that. First of all, as a Christian, and also as someone from a region that is heavily affected by drugs and alcoholism, and our people are suffering in a big way as far as that one is concerned. Yeah, so it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see. Yeah, the only thing that surprised me is how they have also sectioned them. We are going to have the first two for 2 hours, right? Yes. For 3 hours, and then the other two. And to me, basically what we are trying to say is that these are, let's have this one separately and then have the frontrunners, so to speak. So I think we are likely to see more and more people watch the second one, Karua versus Rigathi. And I think I've also seen that in the dailies. Yeah. That's where the focus is. That's where the focus is. That's where the focus is.
And I think it's a media plan to reckon numbers in the evening. Yeah. But now, the past debate, and especially looking at the backdrop of the Nairobi gubernatorial debate that was last week, I think so, it was criticized largely for not having any value for Wanjiku. It was like an ear pinching and nose pinching contest between the two candidates. Do you think with these debates, what he's saying is, do you think we really focus on the things that benefit Mwananchi? The conversation, the way it's structured is?
Our people, and I'm talking about Wanjiku. Yeah. Wanjiku does not pay a lot of attention on such things as debates. It's actually the middle class and above that will pay attention to these things. I can tell you today, the people on the ground, the Wanjiku who is going to wake up on 9th to go and vote has already made certain decisions as far as whom they are going to vote for is concerned. And it's quite unfortunate because it will actually make more sense, and it is better if we were focusing on issues. But our politics, as you would know, I think we're still lagging behind in terms of we really need to get out of this and start focusing more on have issue-based kind of politics. And then it goes back to think of our manifestos. Yeah. Like these, the Wanjiku manifesto from Linda Wanjiku manifesto from my friend. People at the grassroots, people on the ground don't read manifestos. It's the same thing. People make decisions on whom they are going to vote based on other factors and not necessarily
the way they look on Asema.
yeah,
She looks good.
like tribalism, and for women, of course, they will say, "Look at her, she's so beautiful. I'm going to vote for that one as my woman."
Let's get
as my woman representative. And of course, do not forget that we also during this time there's also a lot of money that changes hands. So again, when people are bribed during the voting day and stuff like that, then all the focus is not on issues but rather on
what you're
money.
giving us.
Yes, on the bribe.
Alright, now walisema jana wananchi walisema it's not called political earnout. Walisema naitwa waiting allowance. Walisema kama mheshimiwa ametuweka mahali tunangoja lazima tupe waiting allowance. Since they get sitting allowance, it's called waiting allowance. Finally, on the same thing, do you think the mainstream media has done enough in shaping the conversation around policy issues actually about this campaign? Do you think we've spoken enough about issues? Or we've been all about personalities? I
think that for sure, the mainstream media has focused more on personalities. And every time you look at the headlines, it will be say, for example, Raila versus Ruto. Raila this, Ruto this. We have focused more on personalities as opposed to issues. And if you look at the social media and the other, small media houses, they are actually more issue-based, and they have provided a space where people can discuss issues like we are doing now, as opposed to the mainstream media. I don't know why it is such, but I think one of the contributing factors is the fact that most of those media houses are also owned by politicians.
Okay.
Yeah. And therefore, because they're owned by politicians, then they must drive a certain narrative. And so if Kathy owns a media house, then this media house must push my agenda. Yes.
I speak for Wanjiku.
Yeah.
Wanjiku, the Wanjiku for you.
Yes.
Kathy Wanjiku. Not Wanjiku for Baraichi.
Yeah.
Now, it's coming up tonight. Mr. JM, we have a debate that's coming up tonight. Okay. I know you've been paying attention to the local politics as well. Amulalangu uko ngambo. You guys are always here having a conversation with us. It's coming up tonight. First of all, what do you think? Okay, there have been concerns that have been raised by the Kenya Kwanza team that hosts Rigathi about the biasness of media and the media council and CAKF and all the other stories that are bringing up. Do you think that it's justified? The concerns were justified in your own observation?
Well, do you mean like what media is speaking about Rigathi?
There is concerns that we are not going to attend the interview because the media is biased and the media council as well as taken sides and all that. Do you think that is the concerns? Do you think the concerns are justified from your own observation that you've been having?
For me,
do you think there is any media bias?
For me, I think personally, you see, when you say there is media bias, you cannot answer something that the media has not asked you, right? Okay. So for me, once you get an opportunity, because I think if I was in the position of DP Ruto or Rigathi, but I know at some point there was also I think presidential debate where Uhuru said he will not appear or something, but it wasn't to do with that, it was something else. But in this one, as long as you have an opportunity, because when the media ask you a question, they might ask you a question that kind of, but you can almost navigate that question and kind of have a debate around it. So don't quit, don't get out of it, because what you are doing, you are failing to inform Wanjiku what they want to hear. So no matter how the media is, media will always be like this. Even in the UK, even in the US, media always, they will support this person for this reason. This one looks more beautiful. This one, that is there. But what you should do is you address the agenda. Yeah, a media can ask a question and say, I think you should have asked this question or this way instead of this. You can deal with that. So for me, I think it's a missed opportunity to tell Wanjiku what they want to hear.
Okay, finally they're coming on board. He has amesema haya sawa. Tulisema lakini tumekuja. Haya, so they're showing up tonight. Rigathi will be there on the panel as well to attend the debate. First of all, do you think these debates have given value to Wanjiku? You as Wanjiku, you said you are representative of Wanjiku. Do you feel these debates have spoken to your heart as a Wanjiku?
No.
They have not.
I have followed many debates, especially I've seen the one for the governor of Nairobi, Sakaja and Rigathi. They hit few good things, but I can tell you now, the things that Wanjiku want to hear have not been spoken yet by all of these. They have touch base, we call it, hapa na pale. But the issues that Wanjiku want to hear, to know that I will give this person vote early in the morning without any question. Some of the issues have not been addressed. And as I walk around Wanjiko, when they talk, people are very open. They say, this is what we want to hear. Kenya Kwanza is missing this. Azimio la Umoja is missing this part. We want to know. What I would like the media to do, focus more on real questions that just have value, value for time and for debates. Remember, millions of Kenyans are watching this. Don't let politicians beat around the bush, talking things that are not going to help Wanjiko. Confront a question, get an answer so that Wanjiko can understand. And I can tell you tonight, it's a big day. And I have said it, I'll say it again. About the economic issues, Wajakaya has his way to fix economy. Kenya Kwanza they have already said what they're going to do it. The other one, Azimio, they have already said it. People have listened. The agenda of economy, they are tired with it. Wanjiko don't want to hear that now. The agenda right now is fixing corruption. Anybody tonight who is going to articulate how they are going to fix corruption, they will win this election 8 in the morning. It could be Raila. It is going to be decided. Is there a presidential debate or this is it?
We're going to have a presidential debate, of course.
Those two presidential debate, once they have ended, more or less we can tell you who's going to be the president. Because this issue of, I've listened to my sister here. Everything she has pointed, it is always reflecting down to corruption. Today I came through Global Roundabout. And in every stop that the matatu stop, there are policemen, corners of the bus receiving 50 shillings. This country needs fixing, right? So unless someone is going to tell Wanjiko, we have corruption in the police, we have grand corruption, we have this, I call it petty corruption. Yani naita corruption ya ujinga, yani petty corruption yani ukora tu. So you need to work out to fix these two type of corruption. One is grand corruption that is bleeding the country. We want you, when you get that presidential debate, articulate it so Wanjiko knows today this person has been arrested, tomorrow he's in court, the day after he's being paraded, kuperekwa Kamete or kunyongwa. Now Wajakaya is talking about kunyonga. I want to see Wajakaya. I know he's been in Europe. I've been in Europe as well. I want to address him on this issue ya kunyonga watu. The problem, I'm not going to talk whether kunyonga is right or wrong. But also no one in this world has the right to take someone's life. And those countries who are doing kunyonga, they are out of the real what we call countries. These are dictator issues. They are dictator. You find them in Saudi Arabia and that. I want to say this. In England, we have never hanged somebody. Why there is no corruption in England then? In Europe, there's no country that hangs people. So why there's no corruption in Europe? Okay. Another thing is this. This is why I want media to actually focus on issues. If you give me those people, I will interview them and you'll hear the answer that Wanjiko want to hear. Because I've been in the ground for the last 9 years. I come and go secretly. Now look at this. You're telling me you want to hang people. How do we get to hang someone? First, they have to be arrested, they have to be investigated, they have to be prosecuted, and the outcome has to be they have stolen or not. So how are we going to address this process before we reach? Because when you talk about hanging people or kunyonga watu is the final process, right? Okay. So we reach at the final process, we say, this one is for Kamete, this one is for kunyonga. This is called final process. So Wajakaya is addressing the final process, but the end product, which we know, even now, we can give someone life prison or kunyonga. So that is already being addressed. What we want to hear is how we are going to have the middle process from arresting to here now where we say Wajakaya, you are part of my coalition, take and nyonga. So if Wajakaya is in a certain coalition, he should be waiting for the end product. Wanjiko want to hear the beginning to the end product. This is what I want to hear media asking. So ask Rigathi Gachagua today. What I want you to count 1, 2, 3. Give us how, because what the media is asking these politicians, how are they say we shall this, we shall do this, so bring a lot of money, give to Mother Kome this. That will not fix corruption. We want to hear even without enough money, we have the process. But I want to give Kenya Kwanza credit for this one because I have listened to them so many. There is nothing I haven't listened. I know Kenya properly. So Kenya Kwanza, they have said we want to institutionalize war on corruption. That's very good, but now explain 1, 2, 3. What do you mean by that's a vocabulary for politicians. Wanjiko want to hear tutashika leo, ataprosecutiwa kesho, before 1 year tutammaliza. So for me, if they want me to tell them how corruption will end in 3 months in this country, find me tonight. You will win this election. And I'm not lying. I'm saying this in the glare of camera with Kenyans. We want to have a process, because Raila, again, let me talk about this if you don't mind. Honorable Raila and Mother Karua, they are saying we are not tainted. We have a history of fighting. We will end this corruption. We don't want promises from individuals. If Raila win this election and then he does not have enough members of parliament and he is petitioned by Kenya Kwanza, and for any reason he's not the president anymore, it means we have lost war on corruption. The same for Mother Karua. We don't know how long Mother Karua will be a deputy president. Anything can happen. This is life. So if we peg our hope on an individual, what will happen if she's not in the government? So from both sides, we want to hear, we're going to create this institution. This is the name. This is how it is going to operate. And we want prosecution process from A to Z finishing under 1 year. This is what we do in UK. The longest corruption case is 1 year. So we've been able to do it. Me, I can tell you, we can arrest someone on Monday, and on Friday, they are either in Kamete or Kunyonga. This is something so simple. I want to hear from them. I'm not going to say how it need to be done. First, I want to hear those from those presidential candidates.
Let me ask you, JM. So, leo mkininyonga, alafu mpate kesho niko innocent, mtanitoa wapi tena?
No, what I'm saying, I would not vote for any candidate who is talking about Kunyonga. I was just giving a scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, that should not happen in a country like Kenya.
Now, before I go to Kathy, in these two coalitions, do you think there is anybody within the two coalitions that has the capacity to actually end corruption?
Is it me?
You.
Sorry,
Yes.
say again.
You. Do you think within the two coalitions, do you think there is anybody who has the capacity to end corruption or to fight corruption?
No.
Yes, not.
No. Corruption does not need somebody with capacity. If you ask me, how is corruption eradicated in the UK? Boris Johnson, the other day, he's been, I think, ameondolewa because of a lie. He said he said he did not attend a party during COVID, and then the people are saying you attended. So the police found out he did attend the party. So that's why he's going. Sisi, we don't take things lightly. Now, listen to this. Do you know how all these things...
Boris Johnson is out because alienda sherehe.
But there is one thing, you know, people there, they don't... People there, you see, if in England, if you come and say, I'm a football coach, you do not ask me which school did you go, which certificate. I'm telling you, I'm a football coach. I'm not mad. People believe in people. People trust in institutions. People trust in certificates. Now, one person came out and said, before this all started, because it started a long time ago about Boris Johnson, just a Wanjiko came and said, listen, I did not go to my mother's funeral because of lockdown. I have a right to ask why you went to a party when it was a lockdown. If I missed my mother's funeral, you have to be accountable for going to party during lockdown. And that's it. That's it. Then the media took it, the people took it. People are angry in England. They say, this person went to a party when this person couldn't go to bury their mom. You are gone as a politician. Yeah.
So you don't believe there's anybody who has the capacity to fight corruption?
If you want me to tell you what you need to fight corruption, for the interest of Wanjiko, I can tell you. But it's not about the capacity. Nobody has the capacity. That's it. But that's a talk for another day.
All right. Coming back to you, Kathy. Now, he said he has no faith in coalitions and fighting corruption. Do you?
Let's start from here. When you talk about corruption, and I'm reasoning as Wanjiko, or at least someone who has
really I think inafiki tuache kuita hiki corruption. Tuache wizi. Tuite wizi. When it comes to theft.
Exactly. But Kenyans don't hate or don't have a problem with politicians who are corrupt. Let's start from there. Yeah? So at times, let's get these things right. You see, this thing of our thief, you know? Mwizi wetu. Look at how every time we get a politician who has looted, what do? The next day, they will do very huge demonstrations. Some young men and women will march them to EACC to go and protest. See? So it's mwizi wetu. Kenyans do not have a problem with a politician who goes, loots a lot of money, na akuje wakule na wao. In any case, that is why most of the people that we are getting into the system and most of the people who are in leadership today are corrupt. Because the amount of money that you need to buy, quote, buy the voters or bribe the voters is immense. So you would need to be corrupt for you to get to some of those positions. And when I look at the 4 presidential candidates, I think I'm yet to hear. I don't want promises. I don't want promises. I actually want something very tangible. I want to be told that this is how we are going to deal with
this
corruption.
Is the policy framework.
Yeah, this is the policy framework. Hii ingine yote ni story. And I want to give you a very good scenario. Having participated in the election, women do not have a lot of money to bribe voters. Yeah? Women candidates who only have some little money for their fuel, to go to chamas, those kind of things. But I have experienced and I've seen people who are very corrupt, people who've looted county government and such. And when they go to churches and, give the biggest bahasha of, say, 100,000 and 200,000, $1 million bob, like it happens in my constituency, Madera, the priest will say, kuja tukuekele mikono, wewe ni kiongozi, leteni mafuta. So, let's get real. We need to stop being very... we need to stop the rhetoric. We need to address the real issue and say for sure, for the sake of this country and for the for the sake of future generations, we must get down to addressing this issue in reality. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now there's something that JM has mentioned, and it's about the promise that you're talking about as well. And candidates are coming up. For instance, as the Mayor Coalition has been fitted as a ticket that is that's supposed to end corruption. And they have said, these guys wasafi kama pamba. Baba ni musafi kama pamba, mama ni musafi kama pamba, hajaikula kitu ya mtu. Now, we're speaking about the issues of Sonko that was on the newspaper. And yesterday, for the best part of yesterday and the other day, there have been a very sharp criticism on Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. Martha Karua was seen with Sonko, shaking hands and welcoming him to Azimio. Raila Odinga was seen doing the same. Uhuru Kenyatta was on the campaign trail with Mike Sonko over the week in Kasarani. And people are asking, okay, so you guys, this is a convicted. Actually, he's actually been expunged off the list of those guys who are running for governor. They're saying, so you don't have a problem with associating with someone who has been accused of corruption. You accommodate that person. He's saying, ako sawa. Well, at what point was Sonko clean? Baba has also been accused of being a laundry for corrupt politicians. What do you mean? Does that give us the confidence? Where is the confidence to all this talk?
Exactly. And that is why I'm saying we need to see some seriousness, even as we talk about addressing this whole issue of corruption. However, if you look at both sides, whether you're looking at UDA and this other side, we have people who've been blamed of corruption and cases that are ongoing and some that are already in court from both sides. But yes, you're right. When I saw Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta and Martha Karua with Mike Sonko shaking hands and doing all that thing, I also asked myself a question. But when I look at it today, I think ilikuwa tu ni siasa. Yeah, because how come immediately after that, kuna mtu alikuwa anachezwa. To me, it's actually more of mchezo ya siasa than even embracing a corrupt leader. Yeah, because look at it this way. When we saw Sonko with the three leaders that we have mentioned, everyone thought that, hey, bana hapa hakuna kesi. Yeah, this guy will be ameenda. Yeah, ameponea. This guy is going to be on the ballot. But I think 48 hours later. We got a ruling from the Supreme Court. So I think he was just being managed. Kulikuwa na siasa, kuna mtu alikuwa anachezwa. And in this case, it's actually Sonko was being chezwad. Yeah.
So what if he had he had gone ahead?
To run?
Yes.
To run? Okay. If
because Sonko, nobody spoke about this corrupt. They're saying, guys, we are sorry, Sonko.
Yeah.
We love you so much. You are good, but you are corrupt.
Now, let me tell you.
And that's a dependent officer.
Gerard, if Sonko was cleared and went to the ground and to run as the governor of Mombasa, there are very high chances that he was going to win that seat.
Clearly.
And that is why I said we actually do not hate corruption. We actually do not have a problem with corruption as Wanjiku's.
We only have a problem when it is not coming. It's
Exactly.
not benefiting us.
And that is why when you go to the ground, even when you go with a very, very good agenda and a clear agenda like this one, the first thing that people will ask you, ni aje, na pesa ya chai. You know? Some of them will even tell you, ya macho. You know? So, yeah, and it's a very bad attitude that we have. But I think it started kitambo. It's not something that is just starting, or the young leaders and again the disappointment. Look at the youthful leaders that we have. I think actually the youthful leaders who came on board and who has been in leadership for the last like 10 years or so are the most corrupt. Which is again it's not giving the young people at the grassroots and the weak hope, because people feel like wewe unaenda kwa siasa because you want to get rich. Unaenda kujitajirisha. And I know several when you go to the ground to seek to be elected, the attitude of the people is like this. So wewe ndio unataka kukuwa mheshimiwa. And you want to become mheshimiwa so that you can make a lot of money. In fact, you want to be mheshimiwa so that you can also steal from us. Tupatie yetu size.
Sahi advance.
Tumalizane.
Toa deposit.
Yeah, so these issues are deep-rooted. And we cannot... I think it is very important that we don't address them on the surface. Get into the roots of these issues and address it. Like, we need to even go to the ground and conduct a lot of civic education, educate our people.
But do you think we need education really? I think Kenyans don't want that story. Kiingereza mingi niwe wachana na. Tuambie
Kizungu mingi.
Unajua sababu on the campaign trail. Unasikia unaenda kuambia tu mambo ya manifesto nini, unakwambia bana bro, maliza hii kitu.
It is true. It is true. In fact, in some places, like where I come from, you go addressing people, kuna story mingi. Wacha mambo ya story. Sisi tumeshikana 10. And when they tell you wameshikana 10, what they mean is that give us 1,000 for 10. 1,000 for 10. So it's 100 each, and they are good. Na wako sawa.
Tukisonga.
But Bitok, I would like to interject.
Closer to your microphone, please.
Sorry?
Closer to your
I would like to add something to what the lady is saying, because it's really important that everything that happens, because our country has reached a place where every time we see something happening, it is not about that thing what we are seeing with our eyes. It is before that what we are not seeing is where we need to go. Now I want to ask you, why do you think a police with full uniform, mtu mpaka sometime hata anaizi stay behind a matatu to take 50 shilling? We have done something that has stripped people dignity as a country. So what we need to do is, like, I want to ask you, one time Sonko was not known by anybody. Why do you think everywhere Sonko today can become a president before anyone else? Do you know why? Because Sonko has taken a shortcut to address the issues of the people. I've seen Sonko rescue team. Sonko is paying funeral for the people. So Sonko is covering the gaps that are missing. And that's why people are falling in love with these people who are covering the gaps that are missing. So what we need to do is to understand people. Wananchi are very concerned about corruption. Because have you ever had a Mwananchi who has bribed an MP? Or is the other way around? So why is that? No MP goes to bribe Wananchi to get a vote. But Mwananchi has never bribed an MP. If you understand that psychology, now you're going to understand that Mwananchi has been driven, even what the lady has just said. She's saying, you are promising us to get elected, then you can go there and become millionaires. So give tupatie chetu sahi. So Wananchi are very concerned about corruption, because once you are voted in, Wananchi know they'll never see you again. I was here in 2017 during elections. There was an MCA in somewhere in Githurai, first time MCA looking for a seat. 2 weeks before election, he used to go across the road in the morning praying for the people. Raleni salama watu wangu, Mungu atuwabariki, to get in. In the morning, he's the first with a boda. Na afikiri mmeamka salama. When the guy got in, today I talked to the people of Githurai, they say they will never want to see him again. So Wananchi are accustomed to this, that when these people go, don't help us. So we need to address the dignity that we have stripped the people. If you go to UK, if you see a beggar in the street, come and go like this to them, we say to them, listen, There's a ministry for social welfare. We know what they do to the beggars. You have your little kit there and there. So the best thing I can do, I'll give you a direct phone number to the Ministry of Welfare. That's issue. That's why there are no beggars. So we need to go back to what the lady is saying as well. We need to go back to what has led the people to do this.
How did we get here?
How did we get there?
And maybe, Gerard, sorry, it's also good to appreciate that, the population, the people at times also bribe the politician. And let me tell you how. Okay. Because of this corruption, what happens, and especially during bursaries, when bursary is being allocated, and these are things that we have researched about, you will find a member of parliament or even a woman representative, a leader, promising to give you 10,000 on condition that you'll give them 3,000 back. That's corruption. Yes, it happens. It happens. And that is when you read some of the reports that are there, and I think it's actually documented, the money that is meant for certain projects at the grassroots, the reason why we are not able to achieve those projects or even complete them properly is because of kickbacks. And in a way, it's your money. This is money meant for a project, but you have to give some kickback back to the politician or to the office of the politician, you see. And just like we are saying, these are deep-rooted issues and we actually need to address them. And we need to be very, very, very honest if we care about this country in addressing some of these issues. Kwa sababu hakuna mwizi wetu. When someone is stealing, they're actually stealing for themselves. They're not stealing for a community.
No, it's for themselves.
It's for themselves. It's for themselves. Maybe their families, their wives and kids. Yeah.
Okay. Abbas Juguna, they play each other by photo sessions and funny meetings for public consumption. Joel Arama, Kathy is speaking my language. Priests or pastors praying for thieves. Okay. Grace Steve Minor, Jarabi Talk Live and direct from Muranga. Watu wa Muranga, wanati. I'll be doing well. Take care. Abbas Juguna, simply supply fertilizer to grain farmers in Uasin Gishu and Trans Nzoia. These are the food basket of Kenya. We would not need to import even a single bag of maize or wheat from Ukraine. Okay. Pauline Cherop tuned in. Good morning, Takol. Good morning to you. Wycliffe Wanyama, Kabarnet Town. Tuko live. Asante sana. Boni Biwad, we don't want a short-term relief, but a solution to these Unga politics. Okay. Elvis QW, Dana Reshas. Thank you so much, brother Elvis QW. Lawrence Keegan. Good morning, sir. Falling from Isli. Okay. What was Isli Mamba VP? Lawrence Remoto, Australia. All the diasporans great to see you this morning. And now, the thing is, we have manifestos that have been launched. Kila mtu ana story yake. But somehow for the first time in this country, every other person is narrowing down to the economy. Uchumi. So we have two manifestos. Which manifesto do you think has appealed to you as a Wanjikuta, speaks to your aspirations and speaks to your dreams?
First of all, give it to the UDA group.
Yes.
They are the ones who started this conversation around the economy, around Uchumi, which is a very good thing. And I think everyone else, all these other candidates, including Raila Odinga, now feels that they really need to address some of these things. When you look at the UDA manifesto, the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, and look at the Azimio manifesto, they are not very different. There's a lot of cut and paste. There's a lot of copying from each other, I think. And it is because of how we do our politics, Ni kuchochana tu.
Kaende.
Yeah, but there are several things that are very good in the UDA manifesto, and especially the women empowerment agenda. Yeah. There are some things that are not very realistic, and especially where we say that we are going to form a ministry for youth, right? This has always been there. You remember it was actually started by the late His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, and we know what worked and what didn't work. Yeah. So saying that we are going to refocus, or even we know what needs to be implemented. For example, when it comes to youth issues, one of the biting problem is actually the issue of unemployment. So let's hit the nail on the head and address that as a problem. When you look at the Azimio manifesto, one of the most unrealistic, and I support Azimio, is this 6,000 thing. Where are we going to get the 6,000?
This mimi maza kupiga budget yangu 6,000 unataka.
Sasa hii pesa mimi nataka mtu aniambie itatoka.
Itatoka hapo nikasema venye nitakuwa naweka 4,000 na kula 2,000 na 2,000.
Yeah, I mean we need to cushion the poor and the vulnerable people in our society. But as we do that, let's be very realistic, just like you were saying, how it is done in UK. Because when you look at pesa ya wazee, you know about that popular thing called pesa ya wazee. When you go to the villages, who gets this money? Who gets the pesa ya wazee? Because it's something, actually, Azimio is trying to propose something very similar to the pesa ya wazee. But do you know what happens when you go to the ground? Is that it is Mheshimiwa who forwards names of people who are vulnerable and aged in their community. But what list?
He's the one who decides who's old.
Yeah. So anaanza na support, mama ya supporter wake, you know, mama wa chairman ya CDF, baba ya chief agent, you know.
Wewe kwanza kadhi unipendangi, wewe kwanza kangana na shosho yako.
Kwanza sasa shosho yako hawezi kupata kitu. Yeah, so
shosho yako ni kijana.
Exactly. So we need to have a very good plan on how some of these things can be implemented. But as I told you, we do not interrogate manifestos. We can talk manifesto at this level, but when you get to the ground, ni kelele tu. Simu najua nitawapatia ile kitu. Simu mesema sasa ni mambo ya namna hii. Yeah, people don't interrogate at that level. Yeah.
So you think it doesn't mean anything at this point?
It does. It should mean something, but at this particular point,
gives hope.
Yeah, it gives hope. But at this particular point, because I think we've had some very beautiful manifestos. Hata Jubilee ilikuwa mzuri. To what extent did we?
Hata ilikuwa tamu sana.
Ilikuwa tamu, but to what extent did we implement? To what extent was it implemented, including the stadia? Zile zilikuwa 8 ama zilikuwa 10?
In 6 months' time.
In 6 months' time. Yeah, we need to get very realistic, and even as we give people hope, because it is important to give hope, but let's not appear like we just come with these promises during the electioneering period, and then tunachukua hiyo makaratasi yote na tunalala. We want to see the next government, you know, the side that is going to win. We really want to see them implement real stuff on the ground. We want real change. And actually Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are tired. Tumeshoka. Alafu, let me tell you something else. This time round, I think looking at how we have conducted, other than the manifesto, even how we conducted the party primaries, sasa I think itakuwa mwisho ya vyama na manifesto za uongo.
Kila mtu unakuja mahali unatokea.
Yes, next time when you face Wanjiko, Wanjiko seems to be in as much as Wanjiko is not ignorant. Wanjiko is not ignorant. Actually, it's some sort of hopelessness that sets in at some point, and then Wanjiko feels like, sasa fanya kile unataka kufanya na mimi. But Wanjiko is not very ignorant. And looking at what happened, the way we handled the nominations from all sides, the UDA, ODM, Jubilee, it was, I think it was more shambolic than the ones that we subject people to at the grassroots, where they bribe voters and all that kind of a thing. And therefore, manifestos and political parties, we are going to see a lot of change moving forward. After this general election, I think people, Wanjiko will interrogate issues better. Wanjiko will want to see you as an individual, and they don't want to say, hii ni manifesto ya Azimio, hii ni manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. They may want to see what you can do for them as an individual. Yes.
Kama mtu. They said politics is like seducing a woman. You promise heaven, naambia wewe kwanza, wewe nikubali. Ushaenda diani wewe. Ushawaienda. Ndio utaenda. Kisha ingia box bar, unashangaa atakufika pale atakuridikwa na kukula mutura ni shida. Bwana ingia nyasi. Right, that's it for politics. They're saying you have zero faith in the manifestos, and I mean, we consumed a lot of manifestos ever since. A lot. Mimi tulikuwa Jubilee tukiimba. Ndio maana niliokoka na siasa. Mimi sasa napenda Yesu na mambo mingi na siasa. Niliokoka kwa sababu ile sinema ilikuwa pale haikuwa kidogo. And now these guys are fighting day and night. Do you believe in you've interrogated the manifestos?
All of them.
Do you think
I listen to
I
listen since Mudavadi earthquake, ikaja manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza nikaisikiza. Nilianzana na Raila 10 point Azimio in Kasarani. But I want to tell you something.
It has muted that now. It's very big. It's not a 10 point anymore. It muted squeeze. nani wanajua.
Kina
Kathy wanakaranga kila siku.
But now
masiku zikienda wanaongeza kakitu.
But me, I can already tell Wanjiko what kind of disappointment should they expect going forward. Now I've seen the manifesto. Now I want to tell you what disappointment Wanjiko will expect. In 2013, Jubilee talked about giving laptops to children in school. And in 2013, I can go back to my notes in my computer and on the date that it was. And I addressed to those who could listen to me, I said, where Kenya is trying to go, as in UK, we were there 50 years ago. So it's also important for these people as they do to listen to people, and particularly people who are from the diaspora. But sometimes these people don't listen. We talk until we are tired. We just listen to all these shows and say, so how are you? So now, I said to Jubilee, the way to implement this idea of laptop, you cannot buy a laptop for every child. One, the country cannot afford. Two, there's no policy behind it, how it will work. This was tried in UK when they were trying to get compulsory education to go to Form 5 and Form 6. Kids wanted to drop at Form 4. Then the government said, if you make it to Form 5, we shall give you a laptop. Yeah, youth wengine walisema tuzitaki, but now it's compulsory. Form 5, Form 6 has been a long time. So I said the Jubilee, when I went to UK, I did not know how to use a computer. Today, I'm like a computer guru. How did I do this? It's simple. So what the Jubilee needed to do is to have a computer, an IT workshop in every school. One computer will be used by 1,000 students, because you do it per lesson. So here we have 1 hour, Form 4 wanakuja, and they have a teacher who really is a computer guru. So educate them, they go out, another class comes in, they go. So you can address this. And when we come to schools, like for example, in some areas like Trokana and all of that, where there was a school, I heard that some computers were stolen. The solution for this, that the government need to buy like 1 bus per constituency, they convert it into a mobile computer workshop. So this bus will go by schedule. It will be here, 1 hour there. So it will supply about 20 schools. 1 bus converted into that, and then it will overnight it will sleep at a police station. So this is a mobile workshop. This thing will eradicate all this not understanding ITs. But to promise this, now go back to the manifesto. I want to just say one thing. What the lady said about social welfare. These are things we've been doing in UK for over 100 years, this 6,000, this stuff, you know. So basically, the Raila manifesto on 6,000 is going nowhere. Do you know why? We have these pesa za wazee. Right now, wazee across the country, they are complaining. Chifu anakuja anakuuliza hivi, anaona una shati nzuri, where you have, like my mom, wanamwambia wewe una kijana yuko abroad. How do they know? I'm a hustler. I can't help myself. So wanamwambia mama yangu, wewe kijana yako alitoka hapa akaenda Europe. So my mom, she's 80. But leave alone my mom, her neighbors, nobody has ever get this. All you need is one serious lawyer to say, I'm going to represent all the wazes that have not received this money since it's in the constitution. It's their right, and this country will go bankrupt because these wazes will be put together. They'll be given 20 because it's their right. Even if that muzee dies, his family can come back and claim that money because it was their right. The reason why it is not working because it's not part of policy. There's supposed to be a department in the government, basically under the Ministry of Labor. Here you call it the Ministry of Labor. We call it Ministry of Work and Pension. That is the one supposed to say to the government, this one need help, this one need help, bring them in the process. So they outline the scheme, how it is going to work, and now the KRA is the disbursing bank. So the account need to be the KRA, the authorization person is the Ministry of Work, because it's them, they know, Bitok retired, that mother there is not working, hasn't got the money. So the policy issue for Raila is a problem, and he need proper advice on this one. So for you to have to, you can facilitate. First of all, country cannot afford. But even if the country was to afford, it is going to collapse because we actually need a Department of Social Welfare in the Ministry of Labor. That is going to deal with the policy. It is going to deal with the disbursement. It is going to give the KRA the list, and it will tell them every 30th UKRA send 2,000 to who grandmother, who you. There will be no room for stealing. Right now, machifu wanatembea na magunia kwa counties wakitafuta hao wazee. And this is the same thing is going to go, because Raila is talking of 6,000, 8 million people. That's a lot of money. Can he explain policy-wise and how it is going to arrive in Mama Mboga's M-Pesa? Unless I can get that right, don't promise me 6,000.
But have you seen how much excitement that causes?
But there is no
political
excitement because I've
rally.
told you the truth now. This
That is the truth. That
and
is
now,
the truth.
There's one more bit talk. I don't know. Allow me just 1 minute to touch on this one. I have heard the story of one county, one product, right? Everybody have heard of this. One county, one product. Today, as I speak, we have more than 2 products per county already there. So this one product per county, what it means that the government is going to focus in this one product. Like for example, Migori producing sesame. Anything is going to this one product per county because this is the one we are interested. So what it's going to do is going to channel all those Migori farmers. They are going to leave all other product because this is the one that's supported by the government. You go to Lamu, one product of them is going to be coconut. I'm just saying, but let us assume. So most farmers in Lamu are now going to focus on the product that the government, and they're going to lose all the other product. 5 years later, we notice we have lost all the other product farmers were growing. They are now focusing on that. So we could end up in this country having only 47 product if we are not careful on this. So again, even if this one product was to be brought, at the moment now is not product. People want market. I've just explained you to the story of market. So what Raila need to be advised by his technical team is that Raila, before you mention, if you want to succeed in this election, and I keep saying, what Raila need to do is to talk to his technical team to create the best ministry for international trade. And I've seen a man called Shehbal. If Raila is listening to me, this man is good. Shehbal. Yeah. So if they can create this ministry, and I will tell you how it will work. So this ministry will have several departments for yeah. So if you get close to Mother Karua or Raila, advise them to this, or even Ruto. This is for both, because for me, I'm looking both side weakness and I'm actually fixing their problems. Yeah. So if we have a fit for purpose, and that's the word, fit for purpose Ministry of International Trade, we're going to have 5 departments in it. Department for Africa, Department for Europe, Department for America and Canada there, for whatever continent-wise. Now, we're going to send one ambassador. Your only work is to find us market in Africa for our coffee. This is why this ministry is so critical. If you look our import, is falling down below Ghana. At one point, I think we had $15 billion US export. This is bad. So people are talking about creating the Ministry for Youth. I want to ask you, is Ministry for Youth important than the Ministry for International Trade? This is how us in UK, we get business. We come here in Kenya, we are here already. We go in Africa selling you everything through our International Ministry of Trade and Cooperation. So let's wake up. We need to sell our product in America. We need to sell in the UK. We need to have one ambassador focusing on Europe. Coffee, these people are running marathon in London. Yes. These ministries need to follow them. This is our person. We're going to use him to brand our coffee. We will sell across Europe. We want to bring we want to promote so this Raila product is going to fail because of lack of market. For me, it's the market need to be created first and the product follows. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have any comments on that? Or do you want to pay us now for a consultation?
Yeah, I'll pay some.
You're paying in cash, M-Pesa?
M-Pesa. I think for me, these, and I just want to comment on the one product per county. If you look at when you get the kind of market that my good friend is talking about abroad, one of the challenges that most of these people who even process coffee or tea, and I'm talking as someone who has tried to do such business, is actually the fact that when you get an order, maybe for Woolworth or those big supermarkets in UK, the amount of coffee, for example, that they'll be looking for is huge. Is huge. And when you look at our production does not meet that. One, because of the cartels. Of course, we know that coffee and tea in this country, we know the people who do that business. But even moving away from the coffee and tea, look at avocado. There's a huge market for avocado, even in China and many other places, and in Europe. But are we producing enough? So we must go back to something called mass production. How do we achieve mass production? It's by maybe empowering a county to produce one product or one product and then produce it in mass. So that then, that way, then you look for market and you're able to meet the demand. because what we are not able to meet is the demand. When you look at the coffee, even the quality, you know, we also need to improve on the quality. When you look at the people who compete with us, especially where coffee is concerned, is Brazil and Colombia. Why? Because they are able to produce in mass, and the quality is also our quality for coffee is better than theirs, but they are able to produce in mass.
But also their packaging and branding around it. I mean, the way they are packaged, their trade.
Exactly.
Because sometimes people buy. Buying is very emotional. Purchase. There are things you buy because you feel emotionally attached to them.
And now that you've talked about branding and how we package our stuff, there's something that I have noted. We have had this campaign of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya for a very long time. But have you ever observed, and just one of this day, we just go to the supermarket and observe how people behave when they are picking their items. A line that has products made in Kenya, kila mtu anahepa. People want imported because people believe that imported products are better than locally made stuff.
But which is the opposite, because I remember back then when you were growing up, we used to get so excited about even covering your book with a mumias paper. Yani ilikuwa ni babi sana. Kama kuna karatasi ya mumias sugar. Nemaje mulikunywa sukari ya mumias. Nakumbuka blanketi ya Rimo. Ulikuwa ukijifunika blanketi ya Rimo. Sweta ile sweta ya Kenit.
But there's a lot of pride. I was going to say, but I think Kenyans, they're already buying their product from each other. We don't need to focus on made in Kenya, selling in Kenya. Kenyans are already buying their product. If you go to England, there is this thing made in England, made in England. You see Rwanda, Rwanda, they have product made in Rwanda. They started in 2016. I hear now they have because of increasing they have increased their export by 34%. So when we talk of made in Kenya, we are not looking the Kenyan market, because we already produce in Kenya. So if you go to Europe, nobody buys something. If I take this water would not sell in Europe. Now, okay, I see the brand is removed, so that one I was without the brand. So what we do in Europe, and this is a catcher, even a 5-year-old boy, they buy a crisp, they read, this is from Kenya, Mount Kenya. I'm going to buy that. So for us as Kenya to increase our export trade, we now need to go to branding. Mount Kenya is very known. We need at least a good product selling across the world with Mount Kenya. So what we do, we don't really take advantage of our branding. We have our coffee. We need to go. This is the Ministry of Tourism need to go. Every popular thing, bring like to Raila or to Ruto, 50 brands that can be built. Because in Europe, we focus on brands only. And nobody buys something without, they can leave something that is nice, but the branding, the story, they don't like it. So we need now to adopt the culture of story. This is Mount Kenya water. Mount Kenya is where the Kapemburi is 6, whatever. Yeah, we need to focus on that. And the other thing, if you look at these small countries, I saw a lady here who was Madam Kaste, somebody from Estonia, and what I'm saying, she said that Estonia is a very small country. It cannot afford to have ambassadors in every country. So Kenya, something I learned from that. I had this speech being given at the State House by this lady. And it's a very good idea that Kenya has a lot of people in diaspora. You go to America, there's Kenyans in every state. So now Kenya need to tap into these diaspora people to just empower them, give them some kind of privileges that they are able to search market without being made ambassadors, ambassadors, but they need huge, the market is huge. Now the Juakali sector, this manufacturing, very critical. But again, Juakali sector in Kenya, since it started, it has always remained, someone wants to repair their tuk-tuk, they go and find something there. It has never picked up. So now Juakali sector is one of the things that can liberate the Kenyan economy. So we move it from Juakali sector, so it become innovative and it become a place where they can produce a competitive product. So what we need first is to find out how we are going to standardize product from Juakali. If they made an interesting lock for a house, it is standardized. They can make them in their thousands, so they can be sold. If you go to England, hardware are massive shops. People are building. They go there and look where product is from now. In the summer, I think today, there's almost a warning in England: don't go out because of the heat. But this time of the summer, people focus on making barbecues in their garden. I've seen jikos here in Kenya that can be sold internationally. But now come to branding. In Europe, again, we focus on color. this green dagiri, I don't know what you call it. This green jiko will look very nice in my garden. So people there go on color. They can like this jiko, but because it's looking mabati, they will not buy. So if, like, for example, again, like Kenya can work with supermarkets in England. In the summer, they have a heap, mlima wa hizo vitu vya kufanya barbecue. So Kenya is well known. So if they can modify their jiko, dagiri, I don't know what it's called, and then they can paint it different colors. Just use 4 color, common, green, red, blue, and then using our Ministry of International Trade, every summer we seek a market for 1 million jikos across the UK market. But we have to talk to Juakari people, do standardization, and create a department that's going to make sure most of the things that they produce are standard and can be used not just in, Kenyan greenhouses and stuff.
Right, okay. Tunaenda kufanya matangazo. I'm seeing Joel Arama is online, but before that, tuende tupe madeni kidogo. So you're doing that, so we don't mind you that the only place to get your best property rate is at Optiven Kenya Limited. Optiven Kenya Limited inspires possibilities for only 499,000 actually. Pale Malindi unapata ploti yako safi zaidi karibu na beach for only 349,000 in Nanyuki, opposite Olpejeta Conservancy and next to the Mount Kenya Holiday Homes. You can be sure to get your properties there. Of Optiven Kenya Limited. And this is an interesting thing that you can pay for your property pole. Ndugu yangu jambo uko pale diaspora. You can be pushing in a few euros, unasukuma euro pole for 12 months. You're able to clear your property. Nowhere else gives you such an opportunity than Optiven Kenya Limited. And this interesting thing about the properties by Optiven is that they are all value added. So they don't sell land. Uziwi shamba, unauziwa value, being sold value added properties. Ukifika pale unapata kuna maji tayari, unapata kuna stima, street lights, unapata kuna barabara zimejengwa tayari, beacons are there already, water ziko on site, gate is there, fence iko hapo. The plug and play. You just get your property and you start building, and they give you an opportunity to pay pole maripo ya pole courtesy of Optiven Limited. So you can contact them this morning and mwambie nimekutuma mbona tumie inbox, unaweza pata discount safi zaidi. So we have properties in Kajiado, tuko na the Happy Gardens in Kajiado, tuko na Victory Gardens in Kajiado as well. Pale Kitengela na Kajiado tuko na the Love Garden. Pale Masaku pia, we have properties there, so you can add them to show that you can get. Go to www.optiven.co.ke for an array of property offers courtesy of Optiven Limited. Watu wa Naivasha pia, tuko na mahali pale Naivasha pia, karibu na Enashipai, kimbia pale mambo yako inakuwa shwari zaidi. Optiven inspires possibilities. There's no better place to get a property at the best rates and also flexible payment terms at Optiven Limited. Acha tusikie, please have your headphones on, tusikie mambo ya Joel Arama wakiwa diaspora. Okay, fine. Chairman.
Sema Bwana Gerald.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning or good evening for me.
Good evening huko kwenu.
Lakini ni asubuhi, is already 1 a.m. kwa hivyo technically ni asubuhi.
Okay.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Me, I'm doing okay. I was busy working on some things and I missed my notification show kwanza, but I caught a little bit of it. So first of all, I'm happy with the guys you have on studio today. Madam Kathy ameongea my language kidogo hapo hivi.
Yeah.
I saw one of you posted today about famous Unga. Akiombea my preferred candidate Wanjakoya anguke na ndege kwa ocean.
Akasema gomba.
But then, Gerald, not even to make it a laughing matter, there are two things that raised up from that video for me. One, today I saw on the news, the police either in Mombasa, somewhere in between Mombasa, walishika wa jamaa bank both amount, is it 3 million or 30 million? I don't remember. Wanjakoya is not a president, but already this is being traded. So let's go even to the other side. Why I don't see these pastors condemning alcoholism, which is causing a lot of chaos, a lot of problems, a lot of death. Na sijaona wakiombea hizo pepo za pombe. So, you become a little bit hypocritical when you are focusing on one thing and forgetting everything else. There is no super sin compared to the other as a Christian.
Okay.
Now, and I agree for me, let's call these thieves. There's nothing called corruption. These are thieves. If we call them thieves, then maybe our mind will be changed. When you call it corruption, you call it, it's more of a favor. You know, unajua inaanza kuwa mtu wetu syndrome. Bora mtu wetu ameleta ameniwachia kamia hapa, then I'm okay whatever he stole. And then we can change that mindset. A couple of things that I've heard this guy, ladies and gentlemen, talk about. Is one that I picked up. We have to have standardization and quality of products in the country for you to sell it out in Denmark. Two, Mr. JM has talked very well of, can you utilize our own Kenyans outside in the world? Go to Australia, Gerald. There is a Kenyan who is actually in charge of the train transport system in Australia. The guy is in charge. Are you trying to tell me you cannot even bring this guy to Kenya and advise you on how to make a product effectively in Kenya? At one time, I remember in, I believe, Botswana, the chief road engineer was a Kenyan. So are you telling me just we can only get a Chinese to come and design roads for us in Kenya? It doesn't make sense. So we are very quick to dismiss people, so-called people from diaspora, just because sometimes, yes, we may come with our pride and everything else, but at the end of the day, we still have practical solutions that all we are listening and make it work for us. I agree with the people that even with the manifestos we have, and I've told people all the time, it doesn't matter who is going to be the president. If you don't have local solutions, local problems, we are going to be in trouble. There is no magic bullet anywhere. Hata ukikuja useme utapeana ama mwingine ati 50 billion to the youth or whatever. It's not going to fix anything. We'll be throwing money away for no reason. And where is this money coming from anyway? We're going to put the country in more debt. We have already been marked as a country that is risky for investment.
Yes, number 2.
Yeah, number 2. So where are you going to get it? To tax, you cannot tax yourself into prosperity. And then on top of that, you're only taxing a few. The MPs don't pay any taxes. Now, I saw the other day there is a proposal from the governors and MCAs. Uliona hiyo proposal ya governors, their retirement package?
Nimeona.
Medical cover, local and international. Mtu anapewa gari na sio, they are very specific with the car they want and a driver. House boy, house girl, house help. Is a retirement package for a governor, jameni. Where have you ever had somebody who working for 5 years and you are given a retirement package that will last you for the rest of your life? That's misusing Kenya. And the problem is, we are the same people who are supporting these people and saying, hey, kiongozi, endelea. Just because he is given you we are going to be in trouble. Gerald, people are complaining of Unga being 200. What are you going to do when the Unga goes to 1,000? So that's where we are heading. So can we find an alternative even with the maize? And I keep on saying this so many times. We should have alternatives. I know you can do all. Same product. Yeah. So let's try to rethink our way of doing things and take advantage of products we have, storage, keeping our products fresh, have ways and means of doing that technique, innovation. We have people who have a lot of ideas, but we don't give them the platform to execute on the ideas. Other countries, just like, you have an idea, people support you, they do crowdfunding, you get your idea out there, you become a millionaire in a day, and people get the product and keep on moving. Yep. But thank you so much for the guys.
So leo debate inakuja, do you think it has any value for Wanjiku? Debate inakuja leo wanaitwa deputy presidents.
Nilifurahi kuona the other guy said he's going to participate. So we'll wait and hear what they say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chairman. We appreciate it. You have?
I know him.
You know him?
Not through, just from you. Actually.
Oh, yes. Unajua, Chairman?
Yes.
Do you know he's on studio today? Mungwana wa UK.
Who is that?
Anakuanga pale YouTube. Anapiganga masimu. You remember, he's from the UK, so he's just landed.
Yeah, I'm based in London, and I listen to you with the other guys in Australia, one in Canada. I listen to you through Bitalk show as well.
Thank you so much. Next time kuja kwa diaspora yetu bwana. Kuongea zaidi.
No problem.
Yes.
Thank you, bro.
Yes.
Maskia. Have a good night and thank you for staying up.
Thank you.
Asante. Haya, Maskia mambo ndio haya. All right. When upon that. Okay. What about and I don't know, but I think there's a lot of ideas around how this country can run best. Sometimes when you listen to Kenyans, they have the best ideas on how this country can run. Sijui ni kashetani gani tunakuanga naye. Mahali kama huyu jamaa anasema ati jamaa alikuwa naomba MCA bwana anaenda kama Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Mlala vizuri. Mnasikia aje atanamusha watu usiku nasema unasikia aje usingizi iko aje? Is that something I can do? Akini. Wakinga kiti.
I tell you talk.
I
had to be honest, for the time I've been in Kenya so many times, and especially I can promise you today in Kenya, from MCA, woman rep, MP, governor, deputy governor, it is easier to find Jesus than to find any one of these guys. Once you vote them in, I can send you south and I go north. Find Jesus, you go to find MCA. I'll find Jesus before you.
Before I find my MCA.
This has to change. It's not okay. You know, it's not.
We hope Jesus, because alisema atakuja, I hope atarudi kama MCA. Itakuwa shida. Now finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Oregon. Asifiwe tena. Tuko Oregon, na things are biting each other there. So first of all, the Kenyan government wakajia sema wangwana, sasa tunaanza safari ya Oregon, tumekria watu gapi? 32 tunaenda. Then wakashanga kumbe watu wenye nafaa wenda wakimbia wako kwa list. So Omanyala arrives I think around 1 hours to the competition, and right now Omanyala, by the way, is off. He's not competing in the finals. The same trend has been witnessed against all the other races. We've lost the women race 10,000 that we usually always dominate. Obiri was knocked out. We also lost again today Concelas, is it Concelas or Concelas? Kipruto. Again, has lost, coming with a bronze. That is number 3. Third. And the trend has continued where we continue to lose this race. Now, when you look at Kenyans who are in other countries, angalia kama kina Jepege pale Uganda, they're winning gold medals and all that. Now, the chaps from the Kenyan government arrived earlier. They were not running. The people supposed to be running, have jet lag, they didn't sleep, they have not rested. Now, billions of money, millions of money have gone down the drain. We're coming back without the medals. Who bewitched us and died? Juu kama anaishi, waniambia mahali niko niende niombe msamaha. Juu mwenye aliroga wa Kenya na akaroga Kenya, ni kama alijinyonga pia. Kathy, uko kwa serikali?
Hapana, mimi siko kwa serikali.
Okay, you are an amicus of the government.
I'm glad you said.
You are a friend of the government.
Yes.
What the hell is this? Nobody speaks about it.
Yeah, it's actually quite embarrassing, yeah? And I would actually say a big shame on them, you know. You look at those performances, I think they were actually, especially for someone like Omanyala. Mm-hmm. It's actually the time he arrived. Definitely, you have jet lag, you've just landed, and you expected to go and deliver. Mm-hmm. That wasn't going to happen. And it is actually too costly, even for a country to lose it, because I think we stood a chance. We had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. But then back to what you've said. Again, you know, this issue of theft and corruption, bado tunarudi hapo. It was actually mentioned that one of the CS, you know, a daughter to the CS was part of the party.
Very sad.
And these are people who even arrived days earlier. I mean, we should have invested the time and the money to get the people in sport there earlier and not even these joyriders and the people who just followed them. So it is really unfortunate. And I say, shame on you once more. Shame on them once more.
Shame on all of us because we keep quiet on such. Shame on all of us because, I mean, we keep quiet when we see these things. And we usually say, as long as it. We think everything in this country revolves around politics, and we say some things can be passive about some issues which are very important at the altar of politics. Shame on all of us as a country. Shame on everyone. In fact, that nimekasirika sijui niende Oregon ama niende ministry. My brother, you're a sportsman.
Yep.
Vitu kama hizi inafanyikanga mahali mko huko?
Never. We respect sportsmen, institutions work. If a prime minister is going home for attending a party, tell me what would happen to a CS for sport in England. He'd be a national chef. There'll be a museum built for him, national chef. These are jokes. But again, Bitok, it goes down to leadership. But again, when we talk of leadership, sports ministry is an institution. Therefore, what is telling you, we have crisis in that ministry. That is a ministry for retired horses. Because we have taken sports as a joke. These things started during, we have had these things during Wario. We've had them during,
it was worse. Yeah? Uniform,
not only that, look at when you go to football, look at what happened when Kenya went somewhere and they went with a jet. I think the president had to come out to authorize a jet the day before. So the Ministry of Sport cannot deal with the federations in this country because the ministry itself is a joke. The federations are a joke. Now we go up to the leadership. I hope the next government that will come now will focus on streamlining all of this. And the Ministry of Sport is not fit for purpose, by the way. And when you talk of the CSS, I started contacting Ministry of Sport during Wario. I have Wario's number. I contacted him in 2015 with the vision that I have for this country to change this country's football and make sure this country is earning 300 billion per year annual income from football alone, not sports. He went like that. Things never happened. Echesha came. I wrote to the Ministry of Sports. I wrote to the PS for Sports. No respond. They gone. I wrote to Amina Mohammed. I've called Ministry of Sports and spent 6,000 Kenya shilling a day by calling the ministry to speak to someone. Nobody answers the phone. I called the State House. I've spoken to Kennedy Mpokwa, the
comptroller.
I've spoken to him and I said, listen, I have a vision. I want to bring this vision to the president. I cannot find how to deliver this thing for Kenyans. Most Kenyans, they call me the Jamawa vision because I came here in 2017 with the same vision saying I want to deliver it to the government, but there's no route. So the State House was very good. They told me, you see, you are MP, you see the CS for sport. These are the people that can book an appointment diary for the president. They have access to it because your MP can go in and say, I have somebody from my constituency with a vision to help this country. I want to bring him to see the president. They told me to do that. They told me to do that to the CS for sport. There is some gentlemen working in the sports ministry. I've sent them about 300 something, at least 10 videos talking about what I have for this. No one responds. If that doesn't end there, right? This country has serious issues, and I hope Ruto. If anybody tell me he's going to fix this thing, I'll tell Kenyans to vote for them. Now listen to this Bitok. This is going to make you laugh. You see, I have written a letter to 6 ministries. We have 22 ministries. So 6 ministries is over a quarter of them. I've told them how football will create a job. To make football work in this country, we need 300,000 coaches, 150,000 paid referees. Grassroots wanalipwa 1,000 per hour. This is what we need to facilitate football in this country. So those are all jobs. I had someone wanting to be governor for Kiambu the other day saying about creating 150 jobs. I don't know in how many. And I'm saying jobs are in this country. But we have to go back to the ministries. So the ministry become the engines of growth and engines of innovation. So if you're telling me I'm from the UK, I'm not begging. I'm coming to give my idea. But I write to 6 ministries, people who have been put there by Uhuru, and they do not reply. Where else I'm going to go? But Bitok, if you allow me just 2 more minutes,
Yes.
I have come with a solution to this. Because what I have gone through, I cannot believe another Kenyan. Kenyans are there. They are telling their contact, their MCA. They don't bother. They don't return the phone. They don't return any communication. So this problem we are facing in Kenya is not new. It's a global problem.
Okay.
We had this problem in UK around 1980s. But the president of the UK then came with an idea, and that's an innovative idea. And from reading what other countries have done and what the UK did, I've come with a parliamentary bill called Wanjiko's Right of Response and Right to Service. That bill, as soon as the new government comes in, I'm presenting in parliament, I want to see one MP vote no to that bill. That bill is the one that is going to streamline the public service delivery in this country, because it outlines about no communication will ever again go unreturned in this Kenya. If you're an MCA, we give you a PA. If you're CS for sport, you have all the secretaries. So why should somebody write to you and you don't respond? The same time I was writing to 6 ministers in this, I see them now doing campaign. They are all over saying, I'll do this to Kenya. Go and read my letter. Don't lie to Kenyans. I see them now. What I'm saying that if this is done now, this bill, it is going to bring chapter 10. It is going to bring chapter 6 of the Constitution into this bill, because when I write to you and you don't respond, you are violating my right to service, right to response, your integrity, so all of that. So we needed to collapse chapter 10, chapter 6, we put it together, and then we align how service is going to be delivered from the president to the MCA. So once this bill got through, if you are an MCA voted and you have an office, it says that in the hours of work, no phone, no email, no text, no WhatsApp will go unresponded. If it goes unresponded, there are consequences. You can take accountability. From resigning, don't tell us that until proven guilty. We are talking about standards that we want. This is not. We are not saying you have. We are not saying that you have committed a crime. What we are saying, what you have done to us is beyond public expectation. That's how people resign in the UK. It's not a criminality. It's standards we have set. Now, this bill also says, waiting time. If you are an MCA, I come and queue up, we look in your service. A member of parliament, outside deputy president, I have come to you, I'm seeking a certain service. If I'm in the queue for more than 15 minutes, once you come forward to give me that service, the first thing you must explain to me, because we have now to bring the economic of time. Because Kenyans, one of the reasons why Kenya is bankrupt, people are wasting days and weeks following services. We have to bring economic of time. So now this bill, the UK today is a standard. Waiting time is 15 minutes. If I wait a surgeon, daktari, he's coming to operate me, and he told me wait out there for an appointment. 15 minutes is gone. That surgeon, it doesn't matter, he's a professor, must first to say to me, Mr. Gakonga, I apologize for this, I was doing this. Doesn't matter whether it's a president. I wait 15 minutes and beyond, you owe me an explanation. If you don't explain to me, or if I waited for more than 15 minutes, accountability kicks in. You can resign from job, you can financially compensate me as Wanjiko because I'm paying you. This bill is coming.
Allah. The bill is coming. Abbas Juguna, sadly, the ministry is run by untouchables and the well-connected juniors who only receive phone calls, and orders to implement ABCD are the ones that would be charged and probably jailed. Okay? Dennis Asaba from Doha. Thank you guys who are coming in from diaspora and Doha especially. Let me do this. Robert, but unless we are quick to forget, it's just a matter of playing cards to lure us. I stop taking sides in politics. The moment I saw Raila, Uhuru, Mudavadi, Ruto, Mutua, and many more. And after my motivational speaker, Governor Mandago said, siyataweka kwa lungs. Okay. Abbas Juguna arrived 2 weeks earlier for tourism and shopping first. The Kenyan delegation, they only 2 weeks earlier for tourism and shopping. Okay. It got through, but it was a lasting solution, not for 4 weeks. Abon drops, the same happened in 2017, engineered by Asli himself, and now he has changed the tune just to please and confuse the innocent voter. Politicians are taking the advantage of the ignorant. I think Unga politics. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning from Kisumu. Asante sana. Bas Njuguna, political will matters a lot in terms of fixing these things. Bas Njuguna, people are forced to take the 3K in cash to the bursary officials before the check is sent. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know. Karika Masi, good morning, Gerald, tuned in from Hayole. Watu wa Hayole, asante sana. The guys on YouTube, Joan Jaggi, this guy is brilliant. Kenya, my country, tulikosea wapi? Words ill. The gentleman in your panel is speaking a lot of sense, but is there any ears to hear and eyes to see? Good leaders are not in leadership, which is frustrating. Busheru Nyago, awesome discussion. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Bushari. Sankis, by this time, the Wanjiku is decided where to vote. All these shenanigans of undecided votes in the opinion polls is neither here nor there. On presidential debate, I expect media to focus on issues. Me too. All right, Joan Jaggi. Asema ya bana mheshimiwa, asante sana. Good morning to you, Joan Jaggi. Thomas Ochieng, good morning. GB falling from Washington, D.C. Asante sana. Good morning, Salime, your guest to my politics when it comes to food in the country. All right. I think that's it for us this morning. I'll give you an opportunity to give you a tackle of the day. Tackle of the day is your punch of the day. Where do you
So thank you. Thank you very much, Jared, for having us. And today is a big day, just like we said. And let's all meet there. Let's, in the evening, let's make sure that we watch the running mates debate. Thank you.
Tukuje huko ama tuone tu?
Tuone tu.
Mahali tuliko.
Mahali tutakuwa. Tuone tu. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to many Kenyans. And I know the issues that I've raised here, many Kenyans, they resonate very well with Kenyans. And so many Kenyans have gone, what I'm saying, actually, this is very small thing to me. It has happened to Wanjikos out there. And this is why I'm saying, to the debate today, what people need to do is to promise what they are going to do and actually do it. Let us do actions when it comes to politicians. And there are so many people there undecided. This debate that's yet to happen, it should be able to draw more people in who are undecided. And to the media, let this debate be issue-based. If a politician is taking you on a funny wilderness, bring them back to issue. For us, minutes wasted in this kind of TV things are important. I see a lot of shenanigans being reported by media out there in campaigns and that. Ignore that. Follow issues and the country will be fixed.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy, for coming in on short notice. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother, for coming in all the way from the UK. We appreciate you and thanks for the passion that you have for the country. Wangwana wengi wanaendanga wanafika huko ngambo wanasema hii mambo ya Kenya ngangane pambane na alieno. The fact that you stayed rooted with this and you still want to have a conversation around your country is the best thing that has happened. I still want to remind you that we are 21 days, or is it 20 already, to the general elections. I still want to remind you that it is just an exercise that's going to happen. Understand that your neighbor will be your neighbor past 9th. And the things that you do, chances are you'll still be doing the same things. It's not even, I can guarantee you that whoever takes the presidency, nothing much will change with the way what you do in the daily life. You should only pray that the person who takes it gives you an environment to continue doing what you do every day and able to succeed from it. Kama ni mimi hapa, I want to pray that there'll be enough peace for me to drive and come to the studio and have a conversation with you guys. Bring in guys and we, to analyze. Toko hapa kura ikipigwa tuna analyze. Ikimalizwa tuna analyze. We're swearing in ikifanyika, we should be having a conversation. And this country has to move forward. So gone are the days where you guys are going to fight for politicians. Nikikupata nitakutuanga makofi. If I find you fighting for politicians, takunyorosha mimi mwenyewe. So ensure that go and vote. You all an opportunity. The democracy gives everybody an opportunity to make a decision. Listen up. At least we're having these debates that are coming up. We're having the deputy president debates that are coming up tonight. You can make a decision. It's your business. Make that decision. The presidency will come. You make your decision. Read the manifesto. Listen to them. Whatever reason you want to pray. If you are voting for them because they're handsome or they look like this or that, just do it. If you're just voting for them because they come from where you come from, it is fine. Just vote. It's your right. But ensure that you don't violate the rights of others. Respect the rights of others as well. Respect them to vote for whoever they want to vote for any other reason. And please maintain peace. Vote and go home. On the 9th of August, we'll have a new president. It will be a Kenyan. It will be a human being. The ones I've seen now, they don't have tails. They don't have horns. So it will be a human being. I'm pretty sure. And this country shall move forward. And that is the beauty of democracy. Until tomorrow on Siasa Wednesday, this has been the tackle, the 19th of July, State of the Nation edition. We've been with CATHY IRUNGU, who's a leader as well. Mwana siasa, mpiga siasa, mfanya biashara, kila kitu. Now we've been also with GAKONGA, who's coming from the United Kingdom. He's a coach in London and a teacher and very passionate about leadership and administration. As I sign out, reminding you again that Optiven Limited is the only place where you get the best properties, value-added properties at the best rates. Flexible payment terms ensures that you're able to have a home. Usikuwa tena unakaa nje kama fiki. Nunua poroti. Thank you so much. I'm signing out. Bye bye.